Look, I'm just a geologist. I like rocks. I love rocks.
I'm going. We're good. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
We would never
launch the missile. We'd all be turning the keys at different.
You turn it first.
Oh, just another smooth start for us at the Flannelcast. Good. Hello, everybody. My name is Steve.
Hey, everybody. I'm Chris.
Hello, I'm Jesse. I'm working on new things.
Jesse's working on the most awkward intro ever. Every week, I have to edit this out. Not edit him out, but I have to go through this.
I love
Stretch it out to like 5 minutes by the end.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good day, Governor. Welcome to the Flannel.
Jesse's been practicing his, what is that? My So-Called Life? No, not My So-Called Life. What is that?
That's
that
your first
NPR
reference.
television or NPR television show.
This American Life?
This American Life with, what is his name?
Ira Glass.
Ira Glass. But he constantly pauses just a hair too long. And it kills me.
Well, he must be doing something right. He's got like one of the most popular podcasts on earth.
Yeah. No, I know.
Good for him. Well,
Exactly.
welcome everybody to the Geology Flannelcast, your one stop for all news about geology and geology.
Yeah, and other radio hosts apparently.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Well, before we get into today's topic, we got some current events. We'll just be kind of chit-chatting about giving our take on what's going on. But let's pay the bills first so we can jump right into this action-packed episode.
Yes, we'd like to thank the Formatting Formula for sponsoring us, formattingformula.com and or YouTube/C/Formatting Formula. And I know I talked about this last week that I contacted them about a formatting question, and they hooked me up and helped me hyperlink all my appendices. And then as I'm reading my document, I realized like it's awesome. You can control click on the appendices and it brings you down to the appendices. But then I didn't figure out how do I go back to where I was reading. Like it was on reading on page 12, but then I click the appendices that sends me to page 210. How do I get back to page 12 without having to like scroll?
I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
So there's settings.
Legitimately.
I almost want to share my screen, but in Word, you actually have your toolbar right up at the top. Does that make sense? You feeling me?
Yeah.
But then up above that toolbar, you have like another little toolbar that has like the diskette for save. You have the like back button for, undo. And then sometimes you have the forward button for redo.
Yeah.
They taught me how to add a button up there that goes back to where I was before.
Wow.
What?
Blew my mind.
Total game changer.
And they're like, okay. And honestly, it was like a two, maybe 3-step process. Okay, go to this, click it, go down here.
Well,
add like all commands and then find back. And I was like, that's it?
You're forgetting about the first step they told you was you have to update from Word 5 to
yeah, whatever
2020 version of Word.
But honestly, it took, they knew exactly how to do it instantly. And then it took them maybe a minute and a half to teach me how to do it. So the formattingformula.com, can't say enough good things about them. Please check them out. Please let them know that the Geology Flannelcast sent you. So check them out. YouTube/C/Formatting Formula or formattingformula.com. Tell them the Geology Flannelcast sent you. And then also, if you want to check us out on Patreon, Twitter?
Yeah, you go patreon.com/Geology Flannelcast. We're at GeoFlannelcast on Twitter, and we're on Facebook, Geology Flannelcast on Facebook. So, check us out on that's all of our social media stuff, or geologyflannelcast.com. So I guess before we get started, just a quick little announcement. So I got some listener questions coming in. Thank you to everyone that's submitted the listener questions. I've been reading them. There's some really neat stuff. So if you want to you want to, we're going to probably be doing a listener question episode pretty soon. So if you have some question that's keeping you up late at night in the earth science field or earth science adjacent field, shoot us an email. We can go to the geologyflannelcast.com and you can click on the link for submit listener question, and you can send your listener question to us and we'll take a look at it, and we try to answer most of them on the listener question episode. So it's been a while since we've done a listener question episode. I think one of the first ones since we got resurrected, since we came back, brought the podcast back, was a listener question episode back in April. So we're due for another one. So hurry up, get those in. We love seeing those questions, and just or if you just want to shoot us an email, you don't. You can hit us up. There's another link on the website to contact us if you ever want to. Just talk. We love talking to you guys. So we got some really neat fans.
Yeah.
Love
Our
hanging out.
listener question episode was April of 2020.
Okay. Yeah. So it was.
So 4 years ago.
In normal human years, yes, that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
All
right. So so we got some news stories today. We just kind of figured we'd chug through them and give a piece of our mind. How these news stories make us feel, our take on them. So
for those of you who are just joining in, some of our Patreons get to listen in ahead of time, but Chris, this is going to be our last time with your hipster studio in the background with the bikes on the wall and the drum kit in the back, and
I'm sure it'll still be hipster. Don't worry about that.
I can't wait to see what it's going to look like. And, I'm just assuming it's going to be some sort of like cave or tomb or something.
I was going for I don't know, something like the Sistine Chapel in the background or something majestic like that.
I guess we could put ourselves on fancy Zoom backgrounds instead of just my
No.
dirty room behind us.
We should get a mural of us, like touching rock hammers or something.
Oh,
that sounds
it.
like somebody should probably get that tattooed on their back.
If we have any artist friend listeners who are willing to make that happen, I will be glad to pose with my rock hammer. Anyway, so who would like to kick us off tonight? You want me to start things off, since I usually never do?
Go ahead. This is for everyone listening. This is going to be the Steve Peterson episode today. He is running the show. Maybe into the ground. We don't know.
Listen, you got to have some faith.
I have plenty of faith. Just sitting back today. Go ahead.
All right.
What's the first? What's grinding your gears? What's the first story?
So I'll start with this one that's a little near and dear to my heart, because I am a FAA certified pilot. So I'm talking about, there's this recent article about using drones to study active volcanoes.
Very cool.
So you have approximately 300 active volcanoes on Earth, and these researchers were, it's an active volcano. So it has the potential to be slightly dangerous.
A little bit. Yes.
But the
Depends
beauty of
where in the eruption cycle it's at, and
it depends if you're in it or not.
Yeah.
But the whole issue, I'm sure a lot of us have seen movies like Dante's Peak and stuff like that, where they take helicopters up and they take their readings, but again, that involves humans being proximal to an active volcano. So this research group decided to use drones, and they stayed miles away and were able to fly the drones near the volcanoes to actually get real-time gas readings and other readings. So they went to this, I'm assuming it's pronounced Manam, M-A-N-A-M, Manam volcano.
Mm-hmm.
It's an island. It's only about 6 miles wide. It sits off the northeast coast of Papua New Guinea. The island is home to over 9,000 people. It is a very active volcano. So they were actually looking at this volcano from satellite images because they were trying to, one of their initial readings, or one of their initial reasons for studying this, because they thought it was contributing to the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Now, CO2 from volcanoes can be a huge climate driver, but it's at this point pretty insignificant to what humans are doing, but it's still a portion of what's going on. So they were trying to figure out there are many ways to forecast when a volcano is going to erupt. There's earthquakes, there's bulges, there's and then there's also gas emissions. So when the magma is coming up through the mantle, they originally thought that it would heat up some of the crustal material that would release CO2 because it was wet and has water in it and other things. But now they're actually thinking, based on analyzing the gases and taking the isotopes, they're actually thinking it's from the upper mantle, not from the crust, which is contributing most to the CO2, which is kind of neat. But then there's also sulfur dioxide, which is bad because that can cause, acid rain.
Acid rain, yeah, I was going to say.
So, so they traveled to this Papua New Guinea. They brought these drones. They flew these drones 6,000 feet into the air at about 3.5 miles away, which, if anybody else is a FAA drone pilot, you know that that's illegal. But I guess not in Papua New Guinea, or you can get a permit for it. But basically, you need to be able to still have a line of sight on the drone, and it's not supposed to go over 400 feet over the highest peak. So maybe, I guess they weren't 400 feet over the peak, but
so really, that you can't. I didn't know that. So when you're piloting a drone, it has to always stay within eyesight.
Yes.
And okay, with the drones, I just have a general drone question now. I never piloted a drone, but it's kind of still on the topic.
Shoot.
You can, when you're piloting, you can see, you have a handheld unit, right? And you can, there's like a camera and you can still see what the drone sees, right?
Yes, but you're supposed to be able to physically still see it too.
Just for safety measures. Right?
Yes, exactly. Now the drone has to be under 55 pounds. If it's over 55 pounds, that's considered
next level up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Military,
I don't want to say military, but basically it has to be less than 55 pounds at takeoff. Okay. So, but yeah, so it has to be within the line of sight because those the radio controls can go miles. So you could fly it really, really far away, but technically, if you could still see it, that counts.
Okay.
So yeah, they were flying it far away, well out of sight of the pilots. But they took images of the craters. They measured the gas compositions right above the rising plumes. And then they were trying to do sweet studies on the ratios of CO2 versus SO2 to figure out, all right, if those ratios switch, does that mean that all of a sudden eruption is imminent, things like that. But unfortunately, this study was only for 10 days. So there's still lots to be done. I feel like if our Patreons would really just chip in, then we could just go to Papua New Guinea, get a good drone, spend our winters there and make this happen.
Well, we'll see where it goes. We'll see, but I wouldn't hold my breath right now.
Yeah, well, you never know. But
we should take 2 drones because we're gonna fly one into the volcano.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I've crashed many a drone. So,
oh jeez. Well, Steve, I want to. So you talked about a couple different things there. I want to just kind of reiterate. So there's always this thing going back and forth about. You brought this up, Steve. And this is a really good point. About how much carbon or how much carbon dioxide is that humans release versus how much volcanoes release. And then there's always this big thing about, well, humans release a lot of CO2 from industrial processes, but it's nothing compared to a volcano. And I'm reading this article here. This is an article in Scientific American, and it says the name of the article is "Are Volcanoes or Humans Harder on the Atmosphere?" And they quote the United States Geological Survey as them saying, the USGS saying that every year about 200 the volcanoes produce about 200 million tons of carbon dioxide annually. But with anthropogenic releases are about 24 billion tons of CO2.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize there was that much of a discrepancy. So that's something that I just learned just now. So that's a big difference. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, a volcano releases about 3,700 tons of CO2 a day.
So, well,
but there's only about 300 active volcanoes.
Hold that thought, because there's actually more than that. But it's
approximately. But
yeah. Yet again, twice in one night.
The one thing, so real fast about the CO2, then we'll go into, I actually looked up some stats about the active volcanoes, but this thing about the carbon dioxide being released, it sounds like, as if I'm interpreting this article correctly, that's what's happening right now. So the Earth does go through different cycles where there is increased volcanic activity, and right now we're in this time period where we have there's a lower amount of volcanic activity. So I think that they're talking about right now. So currently, humans are releasing more CO2 than volcanoes are. So I just found that just to kind of throw some numbers out there, just to show the discrepancy, the difference between what humans are releasing versus what Mother Nature is releasing is humans are releasing a lot more.
Yeah, orders of magnitude more.
Yeah. So the other thing is there is about 500 volcanoes on Earth that have erupted in historical time. And there's about 1,500 volcanoes on Earth that are potentially active. So I guess if there's...
So there's 300 that are active.
300 that are current? Well, I was just saying it's a tiny little bit more than what you said. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just busting chops. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much CO2 just one person for a year versus one volcano. Now, a volcano is going to be orders of magnitude than a person, but then there's 7 billion of us on the planet. So, and obviously we all have varying different degrees of carbon footprints.
Mm-hmm.
So, and carbon, it's also interesting to note that the way that some industries and some the way they calculate carbon, your carbon footprint, like 1 pound of carbon is equivalent to about like I think it's like 3.67 pounds of CO2.
Okay.
So if your carbon footprint is 1, then you're actually releasing 3.67 times that in CO2.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So, man, this cat really wants to get in the podcast.
Yeah, this cat is all over. I'm sorry. I have a little kitten that's very active right now.
You know what you need? Kitten mittens.
Kitten mittens. We'll see. So it just is a very novel approach to this slightly newish technology and how to analyze this behavior, because before it was just too risky to it was costly and risky to constantly send up helicopters with these gas sensing equipment, or some of these volcanoes have like super steep flanks, and it's just not safe to go up there. So why not send an autonomous vehicle to do it, like a drone? So it was just very, very interesting ways to think about these things. So very, very cool. Yeah, it's anytime you can kind of keep humans safer and still do great science. Obviously, that's a plus. Um, there's always a story about the Crafts, the husband and wife team. They were volcanologists.
Maurice and Katja.
Yeah. There's a really great. Well, there's a really interesting video kind of documenting like what they were doing, and these guys were like next level. They were very brave people.
And I know the documentary you're talking about,
Yeah.
and it literally says, in the world of volcanoes, they were rock stars, and it's
Yeah,
kind of they were like
technically, yeah, as a geologist, and
Yeah.
ba-da-ba-ba-dum-bum. So there's
but
all
correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't they dead?
They did it
That's
1991, I believe.
Yeah.
Mount
Mount
Unzen?
Unzen?
Yeah,
the pyroclastic flow.
Yeah. These people would get like right up in there on the volcanic eruptions, and if you just Google or look up on YouTube the crafts and some of the footage they have next to volcanoes, they're right there, and there's like volcanic bombs like coming down on them. So in case you don't know what a volcanic bomb, I guess I don't know if it actually be considered a volcanic bomb, the stuff that's hitting them, but when volcanoes are going off, it's very dangerous. There's a lot of stuff that can take you out. And my personal favorite way to get taken out by a volcano is these volcanic bombs. So basically it's just the volcano kind of spews out some lava, this blob of lava, and it goes flying up into the air. And by the time it goes up into the air and it solidifies, it crystallizes and turns into rock. And now it's coming down back to Earth as just a really big rock. And some of these, they can be
Really
small.
big, steaming hot pile of rock.
Yeah. So some of them could be.
Describe that. You say molten. A steaming pile of rock.
What can I say? That beginning scene of Dante's Peak chokes me up every time.
Oh yeah.
It's, Pierce Brosnan should have won an Oscar for that. But anyway,
What happens in the beginning scene? I don't refresh my memory.
They're in
come on.
I haven't seen it.
I think
like
they
20
might have
years.
been in Papua New Guinea.
no, I think they were in like Nicaragua.
Oh, okay, but it's an opening scene where Pierce Brosnan's saying, "Come on, we got to get out," and the woman saying like, "Okay, just one more like measurement or something," and then they hop in the truck and he's driving away from an actively erupting volcano.
And he's trying to outrun the pyroclastic flow.
No,
Oh,
lava bombs dropping.
oh, okay.
And spoiler alert, one comes through the roof of the truck, hits her in the head, and she.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Had a
She
bad
gone.
day. Had a little bump on her head.
Scene.
It is a really graphic scene.
Yeah.
Like
So,
I said, haunts me.
you don't. If there's a volcano going off, please don't try to ride the volcano out. That's just.
So I have a question about the Crafts. Did they own a cat? And
why
if
would-
so, do you think that cat? What is that virus that mice have that makes them brave, and then the cats eat it, and then makes the cats brave, and then the people who own the cats makes
it's a
them brave?
parasite. Yeah, it's a parasite.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not hantavirus, but it's
No. And is it like in their litter box where you?
Toxoplasmosis.
toxoplasmosis. So these mice get this toxoplasmosis, and it basically reduces or removes their fear receptor.
Yes.
So they just start running around like,
They're not
I don't
scared
care
of
if a human
cats.
sees me. I don't care if a cat sees me. And then these cats eat it, and then the cats get the toxoplasmosis,
Mhm.
which makes them fearless. And then when they live in somebody's house, you can get the toxoplasmosis, and it makes you more prone to do things like rock climbing or going drinking at bars during a pandemic. So I'm pretty sure Chris has it.
I don't know what you're talking. No. there is some studies. They think that people that do like these like crazy activities like skydiving or just going crazy on a motorcycle, and I think that it's might be linked to toxoplasmosis from what I've heard. I don't know. I'm not
Right. So if you're a volcanologist, you obviously own a cat.
Correlation is not causation, right?
Nope. I'm all.
Ipso facto.
You heard it here first. If you want to become a volcanologist, adopt a cat.
Well, anyway, so I guess to get back to the original thing I was saying, there's this.
You're going to become a volcanologist.
I want to become a volcanologist. I want to bungee jump into the crater of a volcano and just kind of just have the.
I'm in. I'll fly you over on a drone.
It'll just dip me down. I have a little cup. Just take a scoop of the lava out of the crater of the volcano. Boom, come right back up. Good to go.
I see nothing wrong with this plan. We're in.
So you got to watch the YouTube footage of the crafts, and they're literally like maybe just meters away from the active volcanic eruption. Stuff's like pelting down on them, and they're just like they're loving it. They're in their element, and they actually have a quote in this documentary that's on YouTube, or the portion of the documentary that's on YouTube. And they say, "If I die tomorrow from volcanic eruption, so be it." Like it's something like
very ominous.
I won't mind. And then the next scene is like on Mount Unzen, like
they died.
There's something. The wind shifted and it brought the pyroclastic flow over in a direction they weren't expecting, and they got And so in case you don't know what a pyroclastic flow is, it's when the volcano releases this. It's just this scorching ash.
Louis Ardent.
Yes, French for glowing cloud.
Yes.
So you don't want to get hit with this pyroclastic flow. But did you guys see that? Actually, I got a question for you guys. Did you guys? There's some footage from some Japanese hikers a couple years ago that were up on a volcano when the volcano went off.
It was great. It was like it's crazy.
You saw that ash cloud coming at them, but they survived. So it must have been cooler. I don't really know the logistics on how.
I think it wasn't like super heated.
I mean, it had to have been because the phone survived and the people survived. So it obviously wasn't that 1,000-degree.
The
cloud.
videos of it coming down was like, it made me claustrophobic. I did not care for it.
You heard you heard like everything getting pelted down, all the little I don't even, I guess like the rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
It, like coming out of the volcano, and you heard it like pelting down on the camera. It was crazy because they see this cloud coming and they were just like, well, we're up here. Like there's no way out of this. And they just kind of hide behind a boulder just to, ride it out. And that's some wild footage. I'll have to post that video.
There you go. We'll post that on the website.
The dry erase board. Yeah. Let's see. That was in Japan. Volcano. Okay.
All right. And I have a second little news story here that's a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because that's what I do.
Go for it.
So researchers have reconstructed the first complete brain of one of the oldest dinosaurs.
Okay. What?
Yeah. So they
very close to Jurassic Park territory.
Yeah.
No, basically they were able to use tomography, essentially CT scanning of a very complete brain, dinosaur skull cavity to reconstruct where the brain would have fit in the head, essentially.
Interesting.
Tomography. So it demands a well-preserved brain case, which that was my nickname in high school.
If you say so.
So this is the region that envelops the brain tissue. To date, complete and well-preserved neurocrania from the oldest dinosaurs worldwide have not been found, but in 2015, a Brazilian paleontologist from the Universidade Federale de Santa Maria, Dr. Rodrigo Temp Mueller, unearthed an exceptionally well-preserved skeleton from a fossiliferous location in southern Brazil. The skeleton is 233 million years old. Belongs to
an old dinosaur. That's an old one.
Carnivorous dinosaur named.
Go ahead, pronounce it.
This.
Come on.
Bruliolestis.
Bruliolestis.
Schultzize. The
Schultzy. Bruliolestis Schultzy.
Schultzy. I know nothing. And the entire brain case was preserved.
Most people will not get that Hogan's Heroes reference. Just FYI.
Then you should go back to like Me TV and start watching some old.
I mean, I remember Nick at Night, man.
Yeah.
being a little kid, watching that and the Dick Van Dyke Show.
So they were able to reconstruct this 1.5 grams, which is slightly larger than a pea.
Yeah,
The shape was primitive, resembling general morphology of a crocodile brain. Presence of well-developed structures in the cerebellum indicate the capability to track moving prey.
yeah.
This is what blows my mind with paleontologists. They're like, oh, based on this dent and this thing, it must have had a very powerful jaw. Like, that I kind of get, but telling me that this like little bulge over here meant that they could track prey, that's crazy. That's voodoo.
Why they're paleontologists, man. I'm looking at a picture of the brain right now that they created. I would, if you would have showed that to me, man, I would. It looks like a squid. It doesn't.
It does. It does. It looks like a snork with an extra eye. Do you guys remember the snorks?
I do.
That's a 1980s reference.
Mark it down.
The beginning of dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, dinosaurs came out in the Triassic period. It wasn't one of the latter ones, you can say.
Were they Triassic? Yeah. So yeah, 2, 3, 3, yeah.
But just the cognitive capabilities overwhelm them. So they're.
I know that feeling.
Anyway.
Well, I mean, like, it's really cool that they can just look at, they said, they're looking at the cerebellum, just like the shape of the cerebellum, I guess, and they can, this means that this thing could track moving prey. Like, what? Well, I mean, like, I guess it makes sense, dinosaurs can track moving prey, but just like, I guess the point I'm trying to make is to kind of add, piggyback off of what you said, Steve, just how these guys can just look at the shape of the brain and just say like, oh yeah, this means that they could do task X, Y, and Z,
Exactly. Only also because like there's little lumps and bulbs, and they're like, oh well, this must have been the cerebellum. This was the optic lobe. This was the pituitary. This was the, whatever. It's like, I'm sorry, what? How do you? I understand you have obviously many modern analogs to compare it to, but I don't know enough to be like, I think you're baloney, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, they think that this brain that they, I guess, reconstructed, this dinosaur is of the same lineage that the giant sauropods came from. So the big guys with the big necks. But it's interesting. So they're saying that this is from that lineage. This is one of the earliest members of, these guys later turned into the really, really big dinosaurs to really water that down.
Yep. All right.
This reminds me of real fast. I mean, just to kind of one other thing about this. I know a couple weeks ago we did the Jurassic Park commentary, right? And we were kind of talking some trash on, or not talking trash, just giving our take on. We were talking trash. Let's be honest. The opening, it was the opening scene where who's the main Dr. Grant, right? Is the main character's name?
Yeah.
They reconstructed the vocal box of the raptor, right? And he blows into it and makes like the shrieking sound. And we're like, come on, how does it? These guys did that with the brain.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, let's make fun of them.
That's whatever. Patreon friends, Frank is referencing Littlefoot from. Remember this movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
The saddest movie ever made. The Land Before Time.
That's it.
Littlefoot's mom dies in the.
I saw that in the theater. I'm still not ready to talk about it.
All right. Apparently, we hit a nerve with Steve. So,
no, honestly, I just blacked it out. I haven't seen that movie in 30 years. So
you're missing out.
I guess
it's still terribly sad.
Is it on like Disney Plus or something? Can I depress my kids with it?
Yeah, it's somewhere. You can find it. It's on one of the services.
Nice. But yeah, so those are my two news stories for the next 6 months. So I'm going to put myself on mute and just sit back and relax.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. I guess
no, I do have a couple more, but again, just like I feel like every science news story is something to do with outer space.
Mine is about outer space.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. And this is Thornburg scooped me on this. So
Oh, you can do it if you want.
no. I mean, I can
No,
read it.
no.
I can read it aloud like I do when I'm teaching. But let's find out what we're learning about today. Oh,
Well, I'm on the edge of my seat now. I want to hear about this moon story.
It's my turn.
no. Seminac, what do you have?
I have nothing to that.
Yeah.
Listen.
All right.
Listen.
So scientists.
Even Cal Ripken took a day off when he retired.
No, he did take a day off before he retired.
Oh, you're right. He did. Yeah. Okay.
That was a silly move. I love Cal Ripken. All right, so scientists.
Really? I think he's overrated.
Wow, you are angering. I could hear the city of Baltimore writing us letters right now furiously.
Listen. Anyway, I'm not going to get into this.
He's no Billy Ripken, but
Jeez.
Wow, that's a
Remember that baseball card where he had some expletives written on the bottom of his baseball bat?
they don't.
No, it was like a rare misprint because he had like basically "FU" written on the bottom of his bat, and they took his picture and they didn't realize it until like they had already printed some. So
Yeah,
No way.
You can buy one for over $1,000 on eBay.
yeah, was it the 87 tops traded?
89 Fleer.
89 Fleer.
Oh.
Sorry.
it says something. I'm looking at the explicit. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to say. If you want to see it, Google image search of Billy Ripken baseball card. And
Anyway, what I'm saying is
don't have small children around.
Cal Ripken played on a mediocre to.
He never won a World Series, right?
He played on a mediocre baseball team for a long time.
He did.
And he played for a long. And I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame or that he wasn't a good player. I just don't think he was a great player.
You're really taking a lot away from him.
You can get in touch with Steve by emailing him at steve@geologyflannelcast.com. Right?
Yes.
What was his
Anyway.
record? What was his record? 2,632 games.
Phew, that's a lot of games.
Considering there's 160 games in a season?
162.
162, okay. All right.
You ready?
I'm ready. We just talked about Cal Ripken. I can't wait to see the hate mail that Steve gets now. And this is going great.
I feel like, yes, the whole central Atlantic coast is going to hate me, but I feel like the rest of the country might be like, he's got a point.
Well, time will tell. All right.
Again, I'm not saying he was terrible. I just thought he was overrated. That's all.
Wow.
Carry on.
All right. So scientists, if they are to be believed, I don't know how you feel about scientists.
I'm hit or miss.
I'm pro.
Have recently discovered an asteroid. Are you familiar with asteroids?
Yeah, didn't we just find out it was like $10 quadrillion or something?
Yeah.
Psych 16, or is that was the official name?
Yeah,
That's
16
yeah.
Psych.
Did we make the joke that you'd land on it thinking you'd get
Psych.
rich and you'd just be like fool's gold? Psych.
Oh.
Okay,
so
giant pyrite.
So we talked about this last week. It's worth 10,000 quadrillion dollars. Which
yeah, that's a real number.
Yeah, it's awkward to say 10,000 quadrillion. What comes after quadrillion? Why don't you just say
Quintillion?
Okay, maybe that's why I don't know. It's worth a lot of money, but
Well, this is not that. This is
Okay.
worth nothing.
no,
you
cool.
can only
Cool.
buy that thing in Bitcoin.
Actually, this will you could buy in Dogecoin. This is it was actually discovered in 1998, but they just recently were analyzing it. So this is known. They think this is well, anyway, I'll tell what they saw and then I'll tell what they think it is.
Okay.
basically they were using spectroscopy, so they were looking at the light coming off of it, and you can tell by the light coming off of it, by the wavelengths of light, what gets absorbed and what gets reflected, basically what it's made up of. And it turns out that it's basically made up of like
Cheese.
pyroxene and iron.
Ah.
And pyroxene and iron is the main components that make up the moon.
Oh, I was close with
And so
cheese.
this rock, these the spectral analysis looks almost exactly the same as the moon.
Whoa.
So they're, this is like the moon's little twin, little brother, little sister, because it's tiny. It's about 1 kilometer wide.
Oh, wow.
It's hanging out behind, it's orbiting with a group of asteroids called the Trojans. Are you familiar with the Trojans? So we have the asteroid belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they're within the asteroid belt, there's basically 2 separate groups that are not part of the asteroid belt. And the one group's called the Trojans and the other is called the Greeks.
Oh.
See what they're doing there.
Interesting.
And so the Trojans are in the Lagrange point of Mars. So basically they orbit Mars. They're between Mars. They're orbiting Mars because they're in the spot where they're kind of in equilibrium with the gravitational balance between Mars and the sun.
Yeah. So it's just so I guess in case people don't know about Lagrange points, that's where it basically you send something out to the Lagrange point and it has equal gravitational pull between different bodies.
Yeah, mass body. Yeah. So like,
and so it just kind of stays still. Is that okay?
Yeah. So like Earth we have 2 between us and us and the moon and us and the sun, I guess. Is that how it works? Lagrange one and it doesn't
there's
matter.
Several. I'm pretty sure there's several, and this is where I'm getting a little bit out of my realm of expertise. I don't know too much about Lagrange. I know about them. Yeah. So basically, it's a point where the gravity's kind of equal, and it just kind of you can park something there, and it just kind of stays still.
Yeah, I just know about the ZZ Top song.
Lagrange.
Yeah,
it's a classic song.
So most of the Trojans, all the Trojans essentially look like one another.
Okay.
They look like
so these are not they're not in the asteroid belt.
Yeah, they're like
okay.
I mean
the Martian Lagrange point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they look all of the Trojans sort of look the same. They look like objects in the asteroid, but they look like what you would think asteroids look like. This little rock does not look like those. This looks like the moon.
So is this like leftovers from
the
when
moon that
Thea
got blasted off?
When Thea slammed into Earth?
Maybe that's what the thought is, that it might be a piece of the moon that just a chunk of the moon that broke off and got caught in the Martian orbit.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that is crazy. Could they rewind the point to where Mars would have been close enough to figure out that math to when it actually hit Earth? There's probably way too many variables, but anyway.
I don't know about that. The kicker here is that it may also be a piece of Mars.
Oh.
I don't, but it's sort of interesting because it's hanging out sort of behind Mars, and we didn't really know it was there, but it was just observed recently using the VLT in the Atacama Desert in Chile. The VLT.
Oh.
VLT is the appropriately named Very Large Telescope.
They really spent a lot of time. How many meetings do you think they had, and they just came up with that name? Like,
we call it
I don't know, the Very Large Telescope.
Is it an Italian?
Exactly.
It sound like that in
should we call it the RBT, the really big telescope?
Oh, the notorious RBT.
Yeah. So it is very large. It's got a 8 meter lens on it. So that's big.
Yeah.
8.2 meter unit. That's a big unit.
Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson. Ah, you beat me to it. Another baseball reference today.
Yeah. He was not overrated. He was a very fine pitcher.
He took out. Do you ever see the footage of him taking out that bird?
Oh, that pigeon. Yeah.
No.
Just obliterated that pigeon.
He didn't hit. He threw a pitch, and as it was going to the catcher, there was a. You can see it on YouTube. This pigeon's just swooping down, and just the whole thing just
The
exploded.
bird just exploded.
Feathers everywhere.
I want to get Cal Ripken Jr. was twice MVP. He's in the 3,000 hit club. He's got 430 home runs.
Okay.
I didn't say he sucked. I just said I thought he was overrated.
19-time All-Star. 98% first time.
19-time All-Star because you get one All-Star from every team.
Yeah, that's true.
How many times in those 19 times did Baltimore send somebody else?
There had to be a few years there where Baltimore wasn't terrible.
There were, but not many.
I'm Switzerland on this argument. I'm not taking a side.
They were in the same division with Boston and New York. So
yeah,
for a lot of that.
I feel like the Yankees were terrible in the 80s and 90s.
They were not. Yeah, they weren't good.
Anyway, this has turned into the baseball podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the moon, when it hits your eye like a giant pizza pie.
That's a boy.
Part of it's hanging out at a Martian Lagrange point.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So what would it take to send up a satellite to there to figure out to take samples from it?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's stop going to Bennu and send one to Mars 2 or Moon 2.
I like it.
The satellite that just landed on the whatchamacallit.
Yeah, did they ever retract the sampler?
They did. I think they just stowed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I saw it seems like it's fixed. I didn't look. I just saw some headlines. I didn't look into it.
I think they had a procedure.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. I mean, you'd hope they send that probe out to that asteroid. Hope they that'd be awesome. Bring that stuff back. And,
yeah.
Man.
And
well, I want to say the Japanese they did something similar where they had a satellite that was like
really close
comet's tail and it was collecting stuff.
Yeah.
It's about to come back to the Earth.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that'll be got a lot of fun stuff coming up here.
Yep. That's how the zombie apocalypse starts, but either way, I'm excited.
Well, I mean, gonna get it, you got to go sometime.
Exactly. Why not go eating brains?
I was gonna say why not go from a Martian asteroid, but
yeah. Right, yeah, that too.
Man,
December.
Frank says.
Just think about the logistics, the engineering logistics, sending out a probe, having it hit the asteroid, take a sample, and bringing it back, and having it, survive the reentry back to Earth, and like
that's a little bit of algebra.
That's why you should learn math, kids. You need to learn math. How first not using your calculator, and then and then if you learn how to do math, you can send stuff up to asteroids and get samples. That's how cool is that? That's why you have to learn your calculus.
And I don't know if you guys remember how many times have they sent like a satellite to like study the sun or something, and like, oh, that's right, it was in feet, not meters.
Oh no, that was the
astronomical units or something.
Yeah. The Hubble that's what screwed up the Hubble in the beginning.
Well,
there was one.
Was it?
No, the Hubble.
There was a Martian probe that crashed.
Yes. Oh, is that what it was?
It was imperial versus metric. Yeah.
Yes.
There was
the Hubble. No, when they sent it up, something got damaged in the launch.
The lens was in backwards.
The
right?
lens. There's something wrong with the lens in the Hubble. They had to repair the lens. I thought it was a convert. Oh, maybe you're right. The Martian one was the issue with the conversion from English units to metric.
Yeah.
And the thing crashed. Yeah. That's a big.
Always write down your units.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. But anyway,
you are telling us.
All right. Well, that's all we have for tonight, folks. I think.
I'm looking at the links we have here, and apparently there's a link you sent about a Masked Singer performance with the Squiggly Monster performing "I Can't Get No Satisfaction."
What?
that was I clicked on the links that Steve sent, and I know it's.
What do you?
I- this
what did
was
you
the-
call me?
Look, I just sent the link. That's what. That's one of the links that Peterson sent.
No way.
I swear to God, watching The Masked Singer, the squiggly monster sing "I Can't Get No Satisfaction" from season 4, episode 6. The Masked Singer.
Oh, well, was it good? I don't know.
I didn't watch it. I thought you were a joke. I thought you were messing with me when you sent
No,
that.
I didn't get an email either, so I think you are messing with me.
No.
I don't see that in this email.
I clicked on all the links for the email.
Maybe I sent it.
I don't know.
Either way.
All right. Well,
It looks like a funny video.
it looks amazing.
Yeah.
So-
My kids are really into The Masked Singer.
Is it ever anyone famous, or is it just like?
No, sometimes it is.
Yeah, they had like wasn't Lil Wayne on it or something, or
Yeah, Busta Rhymes was on it this season.
Now you're talking. Now,
Who else?
that's the bus.
Mickey Rourke? No. Yeah, Mickey Rourke was on it.
Huh.
A bunch of people.
Hmm.
It's pretty funny. Anyway.
all right. Well, anyways,
Yeah. So we'd like to thank the Formatting Formula again. Please check them out. YouTube/C/formatting formula at formattingformula.com. Tell them to Geology Flannelcast sent you, so we get credit for it.
and they'll probably do some nice things for you too.
Yeah. They did yell at me. They're like, "What do you mean we're going to give them a discount?" And I was like, "What? Just give them a discount." They're like, "Okay."
We're good for it.
And I said, "Don't you normally give somebody a discount if they come from the Flannelcast?" And they're like, "It is yet to be seen." I'm just kidding. No, they normally do hook people up if they say they're from the Flannelcast. So please do. And check us out on Patreon. I mean, that's what's literally keeping the lights on in Jesse's house right now is our Patreon.
Yeah, and my bill is coming due.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
so-
Mark's going to use that formatting formula for your thesis. Awesome. They do
Very
theses all
smart
the
man.
time.
Nice.
Very, very smart man. Yeah, so check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Geology Flannelcast. There's different tiers. You can get some stickers if you just the lowest tier. If you just want to be, every little bit helps. We're trying to upgrade with some equipment here and get some nicer microphones and stuff like that. So like I said, every little bit helps. We thank if you have already sponsored the podcast. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all of your help and all of your support. But yeah, we got different tiers. The lowest tier starts off at $2 a month. If you become a $2 sponsor, $2 a month sponsor, we'll hook you up with some stickers. And thank you for helping us out. If you become a $5 a month sponsor, you can join in on the Zoom chat that we have for when we record these things. We had a bunch today. We got what do we have?
We have 7 participants, and there's
Yeah.
3 of us. So that's 4 other people.
Yeah. So we had no, it's fun.
You're
come
ready to send a probe to Mars with that math.
I'm telling you.
on. But yeah,
but as far as Jesse and I know, all these people listening are like $100 a month spenders, and Chris is just pocketing all this money for his future apartment.
the future Flannelcast studios that are about to
Exactly.
you'll see
Fla-
next week.
Flannelcast South, the ATL.
But anyway, so we have different tiers. You can come hang out with us. We have like a kind of like a hangout or / Q&A session before the podcast starts. So it's some pretty cool questions before this podcast. Had a little chat about plate tectonics pre-podcast today. That was really fun. So,
Yeah, conodon zones and colors of conodonts and oil
forams.
exploration. And,
forams.
And before that, we were talking about cutting grass. We
are.
the gamut.
Yeah. Tahitian treat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Write us a little message if you know what Tahitian treat is, because I mentioned this and everybody was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
It was something very popular in my youth, and I want to know
Related
if
to
people-
beverages. I don't know. There might be different types of Tahitian treats out there. Just if it's related to a beverage and you know what it is, let Steve know. Hit him up on
Anyway.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's different tiers, and if you become we have another level of tier where if for $10 a month, we'll do a whole episode dedicated to you. So that is the
topic of your choice.
The topic of your choice, not necessarily you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Today's episode is all about Frank.
You'll get to pick a topic.
Next week, we're talking about Mark, and the week after that, we're talking about Maddie, and then Michelle.
We've briefly been talking. I want to set expectations low.
Yeah, that's where we do.
But we have been discussing again T-shirts.
Stop it. Stop it.
I'm just scratching my head. Yes, we have been.
But if you recall, like 7 years ago, we said they were going to be free. Now we're not.
Did we say that? Oh, our youth.
No, I never. Listen, I never said free T-shirts. All right, that's.
I think we said they'd be ready in 2018, and that's half the reason we took a hiatus.
2017, yeah.
So we didn't have to.
Yeah, so
them.
I think we started talking about it in 2014, and then we dropped off the face of the earth in 2015.
I think in 2014 we didn't think this thing would go past 3 episodes. So I think that was.
In 2020, I still don't think it'll go past 3 more. But
Well,
anywho,
it wouldn't be because we stopped. All right.
Ah,
Love doing this. All right. Well, so anyway, so if you have a couple bucks to spare and you'd like to help out the podcast, check us out on patreon.com. If you don't have any money right now, or you don't, and you still like to help out the podcast, tell a friend. That always helps. Word of mouth gets around, subscribe to us on, we're on all the podcast platforms. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. It's just the video version of the podcast. Write a review, and all those reviews help to get the name to get the word out about the podcast.
check us out on Twitter too. We're trying to up our Twitter game.
Yeah.
Thanks, Barry.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're getting there. We're old.
So Twitter
Now.
is at Flannelcast. That's the only one that's different. But then once again, check us out on. We're gonna once again, just I guess one last announcement. We're gonna try to do a listener question episode coming up next few weeks. So probably sooner rather than later. So if you want us to give a shot at your geology question, send it our ways. Go to our website, geologyflannelcast.com. Click on submit listener question, and type away. Try to stump us.
Yeah, the more obscure, the better.
Yeah.
Just be like hats. Why do geologists always wear them?
And
Something like that.
You'll see a master class in BSing.
As
So
opposed to what we do every other week.
If you'd like to see us kind of flail around trying to answer complicated questions, we'll have that listener questions episode coming up shortly.
Yeah, man.
But, so we got some questions now, so send them our ways. Also, shoot us an email. You can contact us on our website, geologyflannelcast.com, and you just click on the contact us and just shoot us. That's another way to get a hold of us if you don't want to ask a question or whatever. We love let us know you're out there. Say hi. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. We won't bite. Jesse might, but Steve and I won't.
Yeah.
We're pretty good.
That's why we keep them in the basement with no windows.
And what if my new podcast studio has a window? Silence.
Curtains, blackout curtains.
Yeah.
Blackout curtains.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that wraps it up for today. Thank you to our Patreon fans or friends for hanging out today. It was a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, and thanks everyone for listening to the whole episode. Sticking around until the end, we appreciate it. And until next week, thanks a lot, guys. We love you, and we will talk again in 7 days.
Thanks a lot. See you.
Have a safe week. Goodbye.